Day 1. You wake up on a pitch-black, suffocating deck. The ship lurches violently to the left. You are thrown against a rough pine bulkhead. Splinters bite into your shoulder. The smell hits you first. It is not the fresh ocean breeze of legend. It is the stagnant, rancid stench of the bilge. A thick, stagnant soup of rotting water, urine, human sweat, and the grease of rancid salt pork pooling right beneath your feet. You are inside the Queen Anne's Revenge, 1715. The golden age of piracy. You are not a captain. You are a common hand, a runaway sailor, who fled the brutal discipline of the Royal Navy. Your first duty is to sign the ship's articles. The Pirate Code. You place your hand on a Bible and swear to the rules. Equal votes, equal shares of plunder, and a democratic voice in choosing the captain. But there are strict rules. No gambling with cards or dice. Lights out by 8 o'clock. Keep your pistols clean. If you steal from a crewmate, you are marooned on a barren spit of sand with a single bottle of water, a pistol, and one ball of lead. You sleep on a damp canvas hammock in the 'tween decks. It is a space barely 4 feet high. The air is hot, wet, and thick with the breath of 80 other men sleeping shoulder to shoulder. The wood above you drips with condensation and seawater. It is a dark, crowded wooden tomb that smells of wet wool and unwashed skin. But it is yours. This is your new home. Day 2. The sun has not yet risen when the boatswain's pipe pierces the dark. Your head throbs. Your throat is dry, and the water from the cask tastes of stagnant pond scum and slime. Breakfast is served in wooden bowls. Hardtack. It is a flour and water biscuit baked months ago in London. It is rock hard. You must tap it on the table first to shake out the black weevils and white maggots. They wriggle on the damp wood. If you do not tap it, you eat them. Dinner is salmagundi, a salty, spicy stew made of whatever is left in the hold. Salt beef, turtle meat, chopped onions, and a heavy hand of pepper to mask the smell of rot. You eat quickly, fighting off the flies. Beside you, a hand named Thomas is nursing a swollen leg. Yesterday, a heavy timber rolled during a swell and crushed his shin. The skin is already turning a deep, sickly plum color. The bone is cracked. Thomas tries to smile, but his eyes are wild with fear. He knows what happens to sick men on a ship. In this heat, wounds do not heal. They fester. Scurvy is already creeping through the crew. Your gums are soft, and when you bite into your hardtack, you leave a red smudge of blood behind. Your teeth feel loose in their sockets. Day 3. The tropical sun beats down like a hammer on the open ocean. Today is all about backbreaking labor. The deck must be kept clean to prevent rot. You spend 4 hours on your knees, scrubbing the oak planks with heavy sandstone blocks called holystones. The wood fibers tear at your skin, and the salt water stings your raw knuckles. Then comes the rigging. The captain spots a change in the clouds. You are ordered aloft. You climb the rope shrouds, 30 feet into the air, with no safety lines, no harness, nothing but your own grip. The wind howls in your ears, and the mast sways in wide, terrifying arcs. Below you, the deck looks like a toothpick floating in a vast, indifferent blue. One slip means a broken neck or a watery grave. Your hands are blackened with Stockholm tar, a sticky, pungent resin used to seal the ropes. It burns your skin, but it is the only thing that keeps the lines from rotting in the salt air. Your back aches from hauling heavy hemp ropes. By noon, your shirt is stiff with dried salt and sweat. There are no breaks. There is no shade. You work until your muscles burn and your skin blisters under the merciless Caribbean sun. Day 4. The smell of vinegar and sulfur fills the deck. Thomas's leg has turned black. The red streaks of gangrene have crawled up to his thigh. He is burning with fever, thrashing in his hammock. There is no doctor on board. Only the ship's carpenter, a giant of a man named Barnaby, whose hands are calloused from sawing timber. Barnaby sets his heavy tools on a grease-stained table, a bone saw, a chisel, and a bottle of cheap rum. This is your clinic. You and 3 other hands are ordered to hold Thomas down. There is no ether, no chloroform. Thomas is given a leather strap to bite on and a heavy mug of rum. Barnaby ties a dirty hemp cord tight around the thigh to choke off the blood. Then he begins. The saw makes a sickening, rhythmic rasping sound as it tears through muscle and bone. Thomas's screams echo through the wooden hull, a high, desperate screech that makes your blood run cold. Barnaby works fast, finishing the cut in under 2 minutes. He plunges the raw, bleeding stump into a pot of boiling pitch to cauterize the wound. The smell of burning flesh fills the cramped cabin. Thomas faints from the pain. He survived the cut, but the fever might still claim him. This is maritime medicine in 1715. Day 5. Sail ho! The lookout's cry shatters the afternoon silence. A Spanish merchant sloop is spotted on the horizon. The atmosphere on the ship changes instantly. The lethargy disappears. 80 men scramble to their stations. This is the hunt. You clear the decks. The hammocks are rolled and stuffed into the netting along the rails to catch flying splinters. You drag the heavy 4-pounder cannons to the ports. You fill wooden tubs with water to put out fires. The chase is agonizingly slow. For 6 hours, you creep closer, using every gust of wind. The Spanish captain has no desire to fight. He knows the black flag means parley, but a struggle means death. The myth of the theatrical pirate duel is a lie. Real combat is brief, chaotic, and terrifying. The captain orders a warning shot. The cannon roars, a deafening explosion that fills the deck with thick, choking white smoke. The Spanish vessel hesitates, then drapes her sails. They surrender without firing a single shot. The boarding party goes over. There are no bloody sword fights today. The Spanish crew is huddled on the deck, terrified. You seize 40 barrels of flour, 3 crates of silver plate, and 5 casks of Spanish brandy. It is a rich prize. Day 6. The loot is brought back to the deck. This is where pirate democracy is tested. The quartermaster, elected by the crew, oversees the distribution. Every man receives an equal share. The captain and quartermaster receive 2 shares. Barnaby, the carpenter surgeon, gets 1.5. Even Thomas, still shivering in his hammock, receives his share. If Thomas loses his leg permanently, the code guarantees him 800 pieces of 8 from the common chest as compensation. This is the first workers' compensation system in the Western world, operated by outlaws. You hold your share of the silver. It feels heavy, cold, and real. In the evening, the discipline relaxes. The brandy is opened. The decks echo with rough sea shanties and drunken laughter. But even in your celebration, there is a tense undertone. You learn about the myths of your trade. No one has ever walked a plank. If a man mutinies, he is simply thrown overboard with weights on his ankles, or bound to the mast and whipped. The laughter is loud, but it is hollow. Everyone knows the Royal Navy is hunting these waters. The noose is always waiting. Day 7. The sky turns the color of bruised iron. A tropical squall hits. The wind rises to a shriek, ripping the main topsails to shreds. The ship rolls violently, taking on water. You are ordered to the pumps. For 12 grueling hours, you stand in the dark, cold water of the hold, pumping a heavy iron brake up and down. Your arms are numb, your chest is on fire, and every muscle screams for rest. If you stop, the ship sinks. The wood groans under the immense pressure of the waves. You realize how fragile this wooden world truly is. By morning, the storm passes, leaving a pale, exhausted crew on a battered deck. You survived the week. You are still alive, still free, and richer than you ever would have been in a lifetime of honest labor. But you look at the dark horizon and realize the truth of the deal. The golden age of piracy is not an adventure, it is a pact. You have traded the safety of submission for the volatile, terrifying thrill of freedom. You have traded a long life of quiet desperation for a short, brilliant burst of fire under the black flag. The choice was always yours.